Hey everyone, welcome back to another exciting episode of Attack Productions. Today I'm Bancroft, being joined once again by Jimmy, Matt, and like always, Fluff.
Yes, sir.
Hey everybody.
What's up, people?
And like always, there's buttons. Feel free to click them because they're there for a reason. Today's matchup is me versus Matt. Matt has brought back Gogeta, while I brought the mono blue version of Gohan because I got tired of, on turn 2, top decking a red or black card.
Bancroft's Gohan is pretty similar to the Gohan I was playing the last time I was on stream, but he's played it a lot more than me, and it's a few major differences. For example, Bancroft is not running Nimbus Master. Is it Nimbus Master or Nimbus Seeker?
Nimbus Master. So I originally ran two of those and two of the dimensional support trunks to get the skill assists to the board from my deck or drop. The problem was that literally 80% of my matches, I would on turn 2 charge a red or black card. So I took them out. I added two more skill assists. I added one Yamcha, and I actually added 2 Golden Avengers to my deck. So my deck's actually, I think, 51 cards right now. And I like that a lot better. In the previous round, I played Jimmy, and I felt like that came pretty close, but I was also very afraid to play against his deck at the time as well. And coming across...
That was a fun matchup.
One thing you all may notice is that you may be wondering why I charge the Kaioken Blue Goku when I'm playing a deck that spams the board with lots of 2-drops. Because with the Kaioken, you can pay 2 and remove a card, or pay 3 and do more or less a board clearing. And I think I'm pretty sure I have an exploiting weakness in hand at this point, so that's why I went ahead and charged that.
And I will say, Red's always been, for me, a concern, because Red has the ability to just neg a lot. Now, I know I said it too. I don't think it was recorded, but when I was doing some testing with Nick, he had King Vegeta, and I was like, he's going to neg me out. And I managed to get the win against Nick, just luckily. But then you charged an after image. I'm like, okay, I'm feeling a little bit better.
I've got multiple... I was planning on board clearing you with exploiting weakness. I think I had at various points in the game, I had multiple after images. I think at one point I had 3 Violent Rays in hand. And I was just like, yeah, I don't need this. You know, I'm going to clear his board on my turn 3. So, you know, it did not seem like a major concern. Like, you can see the one after image in my hand where I just went through my deck. And the other thing to keep in mind is when I'm searching my top 7, I'm getting so many, 1-drop reds. So I'm either taking a Violent Rays or an after image into hand every time. Although one thing, and not to spoil the ending, but there's one thing that Blue can do that, the words of the immortal Dave Chappelle, fuck your couch after image, you can buy a new one. And I think we all know what Blue's answer to that is.
So, Bancroft, for people that might not be familiar with the Blue Gohan package, including myself, because that's why I'm asking this question, what do all of the supporting non-vanilla cards do? I know they all have a very similar effect, and some of them require themselves to be played in the battle area, while others go into the energy, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so the reason why I upped Yamcha from 2 to 3 is because when you play Yamcha, it searches your deck for a skill split into your hand. So for some reason you're not seeing it, there you go. The Tien, if you were to play it, draws a card. The Krillin on play, if I'm correct, it searches the top 3 cards of the deck, and you look for a...
Yeah, Krillin is top 3.
And you look for an Earthling energy cost, I think 2 or less, or a Unison energy cost of 1. So pretty much it pulls the skill list, or it pulls the Pan to your hand.
The Giru and Pan Unison.
I don't play.
Yeah, I quickly realized after playing this deck, Giru and Pan is not particularly worthwhile.
Yeah, I didn't like it at all.
The only limited value I think it has is to pay 2, kill it, and put the restriction in place on them next turn.
Yeah. Vegeta is a negate. But the Tien, the Krillin, and the Vegeta, if they're charged, they're auto. When this card is charging your energy, it's 1 blue is the cost, but you can play a 2-drop skillless from your energy to the board, and then you take the top card of your deck and you put your energy in rest mode, which works great with the leader because the leader has the ability on swing. On the front side, when you swing, you pick up energy, 1 blue energy or blue card, and then you have to charge you may charge pretty much a blue battle card. Then when you go on the Awaken, you draw 1 card, then you get that effect. So you're always able to reset energy.
There's the exploiting weakness.
Yeah, and God. As much as I played Red, I wasn't expecting that for some reason. Maybe I haven't played Red in a long time.
I mean, I had 3 open energy. I mean, what else was I going to do with it?
I forgot all about exploiting weakness, truly. Like, you played that and I was like this, it's 15, right? You're like, nah, it's 20. I'm like, alright. So, it's...
Exploiting Weakness is a card that, like, kind of fell off for a little while, but I think is kind of seeing a little bit more so sideboard play in red decks, where the red kind of wants the game to go like slightly longer now than it used to.
Yeah, red is really taken on more of a control aspect thanks to the violent rays.
Like, even if we look at King Vegeta, while it's a very explosive and can do a lot of actions in 1 turn, a lot of the cards do have effects that will control the tempo on your opponent's side while allowing you to still like spam out and kind of be a little bit more stormy. It's very interesting watching red function now.
There's another after image being charged. At this point, Bancroft is beside himself with these charging decisions.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it did throw me off. But I decided to leave myself open on the 3 energy because after seeing Matt play a lot, I knew turn 4 is kind of like your turn, especially since you can awaken as well now. My board would have been gone anyways, practically. So no matter what I put out there, it was kind of useless. So I decided not to play a card and just hang on to my energies and potentially take a couple attacks. And there's a 6-drop. So, Matt, going into this match, you were beforehand, like you mentioned earlier, you had built Blue Gohan, experimented with it. What was the thought process going against Blue Gohan with the idea since you've played it before?
My main focus was I did not know if you were running Boo Unison, Blue Boo Unison. So I wanted to go ahead and get my 6-drop out. My other thinking was, buy time, use Violent Rays, and try to kill you turn 5 with my Go Hanks SCR. Because that's also going to completely clear your board. What I did not, and I don't want to, we'll get into it next turn, because there's a long period of indecision next turn. This turn, I think, do I manage? Yeah, I managed to get you down to 3 this turn, and I have Go Hanks SCR in hand. So at this point, I'm like, well, if I survive the next turn, I get Go Hanks on board, I should be in pretty good shape. But that's the thing about blue, is lots and lots of counters.
Yeah. So here you're just cycling more cards to your hand, which can either be used for another fusion or just more combo power on your side.
I just needed resources. Yeah.
And I think you're right. I think I do. No, I do combo off. Okay. So I stay at 4 life then.
Oh, are you at 4 right now?
Yeah, I'm at 4 right now.
Okay, I want to say at one point I get you to 3, but I may be mistaken.
So this is a very interesting.
How do you pop? Don't you pop my 6-drop somehow?
Yeah. So this is a very interesting turn, because if I do this out of order, I cannot get rid of your 6-drop. So I go ahead, if I'm correct, and straight up just pay the 4 energy. instead of swinging. Because if I swung, you could have just used the auto on Gogeta and KO the skills on the board. Then I couldn't pay for energy to bring out SS2 Gohan.
Which I may have made a catastrophic misplay, now that I think about it, is if I had a Kaioken in my hand, which I don't remember if I did, I should have taken that 2-drop off the board, because that would have kept Gohan from coming out.
It would definitely have helped, yeah.
And if that was in my hand, that was a catastrophically bad misplay.
So I decide here, if I'm correct as well, to go ahead and just proc the Gohan auto.
I think, yeah.
And this way, because it's not KO,
I don't get the -20.
Yeah, you don't get the -20, and it's not KO card. It's just placing at the bottom, so it gets past the is it indestructible?
The non-KO. Yeah, it's not indestructible. It just can't be KO'd. I think indestructible is, Jimmy. Isn't that something slightly different?
Indestructible is not removed from the battle area by your opponent's skills.
Yeah. Yeah,
it can be negged out because that's a game mechanic that removes it, but there's some like weird rolling limbo there where it's still a skill that removes it, but it's the game skill that takes it off the board. So in a case, that's the only way to get rid of indestructible.
And I went ahead and swung with the Gohan first because I knew you were going to do Violent Ray, and I followed up with the leader, double centimeter restand all my energy. And I can't remember if someone was watching when I did that and they were confused for a second, but I went ahead and paid all 4 energy to play the Majin Buu, or Arcane Majin Buu, whatever that unison's called, where if you would have played your 6-drop, I could have just bottom decked it right when you swung.
And at this point, I've got the Gohanks in hand, so I'm like, well, I really don't care that he's put out the unison. But that is, he's absolutely correct. That pretty much shuts me down battle card wise.
Yep. And it's a blocker, which
I'm
is pretty nice.
Frankly kind of shocked by what I perceive to be the lack of interest in this Buu unison with this set. I think it's unbelievably good, like insanely good.
It's kind of like in an odd energy cost realm. Where,
the 4. Yeah. But it would be abusive at 3. I mean, if it was 3, that would just be like, what are we doing?
Well, the thing about it, though, it does restand the energy when you do its activate main, or it's +0, I think.
Right, but if it was 3, it would pretty much take Baby's place. I mean, I think, but
the reason I don't think it's getting a lot of attention right now, and not really shifting the meta at all, is because of its 4 energy cost, where paying 4 for a unison is usually a bad thing outside of like green, or in this case, the Majin Buu unison is good enough to pay 4 energy for. But people tend to be a little conservative on their energy play.
So what we've got here is a long period of indecision. So I've got 5 energy. I've got the Gohanks in hand. The Gohanks -4 is dual attack, triple strike, plus 15k, etc., etc. So you have to play him for 5 if you want to do the -4. I also have 2 or 3 violent rays in hand. So, and I'm down to 1 life. So my thinking is, well, if I commit with the Gohanks, if I don't win this turn, I'm done. He's got 1 open energy. He's got 4 life, and I'm doing the math in my head, and I feel like, well, the safer play is probably not to play the Gohanks this turn, and because I'm thinking he's not going to get through. I'll play 1 violent raise for battle cards, 1 violent raise for unison cards. His turn is over. But as you will see, the joke will be on me, and I should have played the Gohanks this turn, but based on what Bancroft later told me was in his hand, it wouldn't have mattered.
I have a quick question. I saw that you had another topo, so that answered that question. But the Jiren, isn't the Jiren's -3? Is it negs him by 25, or is it 2500 gets KO'd?
It's activate battle -25.
See, I feel like Jiren would have been good one to put out there.
I don't think I had him. I can't remember if I probably had him in hand at some point this game.
We were able to see the second go on the screen. Like, you do have it in your hand currently. But
yeah, maybe I should have played him for 3 and then used the 2 energy for Violent Rays the next turn. But I mean, your hand was just.
I did have.
I made mistakes this game, but there was no. I mean, your hand was just absurd. There was nothing I could have done to have won this game.
So one of the perks of making this deck mono blue and taking those 4 cards out is surprisingly the amount of cards I have in my hand now. Where beforehand, like Fluff, you've seen it, where on turn 2 I could do almost 7 damage, if I had the right cards in my hand, But I would have cards left over.
Isn't Goku's Kamehameha also doesn't it require all blue energy for its secondary effect?
It does.
Do you run that?
I do not. That's not a bad one to add as a 1-of or something like that. Because it can be played as a good defensive option, or I think during your turn to draw a card, if correct.
So here, Bancroft's down to 2 life. I mean, and he took the life because he had so many negates in hand. I think maybe I just pass, but it doesn't matter. He has. I mean, it isn't played, but he has Baby, he has D-Magic, and you've got something else, don't you?
So I have a Vegeta, a couple of Dimension Magics. I do have Baby Hatch in my hand as well. Because, I know that so much because afterwards, you did ask to run it back.
Yeah, we turned the stream off and we run it back to see what would have happened if I had played Go Hanks this turn. And the answer is I still lose.
And here, I think you're deciding on going for it right now. Does that Go Hanks have blocker? I can't remember.
Yeah, he's a blocker.
Okay.
The other option would have just been to play him for 4 and leave an open energy for Violent Rays. But the problem. I mean, the problem is that what you will play next turn makes all of it irrelevant. A card we were talking about being very abusive before the stream started, and wondering if it will be eroded or banned. Everyone's favorite 5-drop counter.
Yeah.
And I apologize to the viewers. I'm taking so long debating this.
I think what it brought
I normally am not this indecisive.
Was that I had also remind you hey, this Unison could get rid of your 6-drop if you were to play and swing at me with it. So it kind of stopped that play in your mindset as well. You didn't.
I was never going to play the 6-drop this turn.
Okay.
That was never a consideration.
I did just.
If for no other reason, then the Gohan, the 10-drop Gohan is not unique, correct?
No, it's not.
Yeah, so I mean, if for no other reason, then you could easily get another 10-drop Gohan out this turn.
Yeah, right there, I chose not to activate the auto when I charged the Vegeta.
Here comes Violent Rays. Wah, wah. And there's Baby Ape.
Yeah, and you just threw down. So you threw down Unison afterwards. You're like, could you have stopped this?
Can we run this back?
Yeah.
And yeah, it doesn't make a difference. I love this Gogeta deck, but it has limitations. I mean, I would like to take it to a regional. One of the issues with playing it at our store is I've played it so many times against so many good players. It's what's coming. I would like to take it. There was an event it sold out in Columbus this Saturday that we were going to try to go to, and I think there's another Columbus event in September we may try to do. But I would like to take it to something with 24 people or more that I don't see every other Saturday, and see how it would do. I mean, I would not expect it to make top cut or anything, but I think it could win some games.
So I have a quick question, just to potentially answer any comments that to occur. Seeing your hand that last second as you're going through your cards one more time, I think I saw 2 or 3 more negates in your hand.
Yeah, I had Violent Ray. I think I had 2 or 3 Violent Rays, another After Image. I mean, just a ridiculous amount.
Yeah. Do you just think you would out combo me in that end? Is that what it was, right?
Well, if I'd gone for it with Gohanks, that was the other concern, was even if the swing got through, I wasn't sure if I had enough to out combo you. Because right now, I need to go back through this deck, because it's got a lot of extra cards and not quite as much combo power as I'd like. What I am going to do for this, our next locals, and this is either going to work or it's going to be a bloody train wreck, but we may profile it either way, is I'm going to use the Soul Striker leader, and I'm going to use the set 5 20k Gokus and Vegetas from Miraculous Revival, the skillless, and I want to try to merge the Gohan engine with Nimbus Master to get the skillless out, and also play the blue Gogeta engine, because I run 4 skillless Gokus, 4 skillless Vegetas, some of the Gohan, I think a couple of the Krillins for searching. And I don't know if it would be overkill, but I know people are merging Janemba with Gohan. Yeah. So if that's possible, I'm going to try it and see it. See, it may be a train wreck, but it'll be fun all the same.
I will say the Krillins, if I'm correct, will not pull the Vegeta and Goku skillless, because I think it does say Earthlings.
They're not Earthlings. Yeah. You're right, they're not Earthlings. Now that makes me think it may just not work. Okay. But, I mean, at the same time, though, they're fusion pieces,
Keep in mind, Yamcha. You play 1 energy to play Yamcha, and he will pull a skillless to your hand from your deck.
Yeah, Yamcha may be the way to go instead of Krillin.
So, with that being said, thank you all for tuning in. Hope you all enjoyed. Like I said earlier, there's buttons. Feel free to click them. Matt, last words?
I don't have anything profound for you all. We enjoy doing these videos. Leave comments. This is a great community. Thanks for watching.
Jimmy?
I just discovered that, like, almond milk, like, fucking slaps. Like, I always knew it existed, but I just bought some for the first time in my life, and it's like kind of life changing now. Like, I don't think I'm gonna drink fucking cow milk ever again.
Before I go to fluff on this one, did you buy the standard almond milk, or did you buy the one with a hint of honey?
I just bought the standard unsweetened.
Yeah.
Is there like honey flavor?
Yeah, there's one that's like vanilla. There's one that's a hint of honey. Yeah, there's some interesting ones out there.
Shit. Okay, I see.
Fluff, would you let us out?
We're not sponsored by any particular brand of almond milk. If you'd like to sponsor us, our email will be down in the description below.
But Fluff is sponsored by Green Hand Control. Ass.
Yeah, pretty much. Read your cards, know your plays. Let us make the mistakes so you don't have to. And as always, Fluff out.